Hi guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to this wing pack down tutorial. I hope you get something out of it and I hope you find it really useful. Look, I've got a little bit of a deal to make with you. If you do find it useful and you've got something out of it, then please can I ask you to subscribe to the channel. It really helps us generate a revenue for my partner Bear Cottage, a children's hospice based here in Sydney. I'm on an absolute mission this year to raise as much money as possible for this organisation. They do an incredible job looking after kids that, let's face it, have been dealt a shit sandwich at birth, and they do everything they can to make their lives slightly better. I've put a link in the description below, so if you're feeling really generous, you can actually donate directly to the charity. All right, let's get straight into the tutorial. So the wing pack down is something that I have refined and rehearsed over and over again, and I've got it down now to a fine art. The key to it really is to just practice on the land first of all before you venture out into the ocean. The last thing you want to do is go out in 35 knots of wind with a 3-meter swell and do your first pack down and see how it goes. Make sure that you've got it down pat on the ground first of all, on the land, before you go out onto the ocean. Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of the technique and the equipment, I just want to talk about the why. There's two main reasons. The obvious one is if you're Billy no mates, you've got no one to be able to give you a lift. This is a great mode of transport to put you in a position where you can start to learn to downwind and not rely on anyone else. You're basically self-sufficient. But the other one, which I sort of came to by accident, was the fact that it positions you perfectly. It puts you into the eye of the wind, as opposed to what I was finding when I was doing downwind runs using, the normal shuttle technique. There's a lot of cutting involved, i.e. going across the wind to be able to make your finish point, which I found really challenging in the beginning stages. So with the wing, you can position yourself exactly where you need to be so you can go downwind exactly with the bumps. All right, so let's talk about equipment. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk about the life jacket, personal flotation device, whatever you want to call it, or a bag. Some people use a bag. So personally, I have tried bags and I didn't get on with them. I found them to fill up with water, to get heavy, and there was a lot of extra material and swing weight and you name it. So I got rid of the bag, the rucksack or whatever, and what I've done is with my life jacket, I've modified it to put some straps onto it. So you can see I've got 3 straps. I've just tied them on. I've got a metal shackle, and they just clip on nicely, as you can see. 1, 2, 3. That way the wing just sits in there, all the water drains out. It keeps it really compact and nice and tight. The other advantage of that is that obviously it means I can wear my life jacket, extra bit of safety. It's got all of the pouches in the front that I need my knickknacks for anything that I need to put in there in terms of spares and tools and what have you. It's just a really compact system. And then onto the all-important wing. So look, for a wing, really we want to go as small as possible. So at the moment I've got a 4-meter here. This is the biggest that I would ever use. So if it's super light conditions, I'm talking like 10 knots, so maybe less than 10 knots is when I'd use the 4-meter. Anything else, I'm on the 3, that's my favorite. The reason for that is because obviously you're generally using a bigger 4 that you need to paddle up anyway, so you don't need a big wing to get upwind. And then obviously when it's on your back, you want it to be as small as possible, just to reduce the weight. So I found with my 3-meter wing, when it's soaking wet, so I've just fallen in, I weighed it, it's around 4.5 kilos. So you've got to take that into account. You also want a wing that is very good at going upwind. And these Armstrong XPS, they're just incredible. They're lightweight, they go upwind like nothing else, and that's what you want. So a really nice tight canopy is what you're after for a wing. Hard handles for me really important because that's how I strap the boom to the hard handles. It keeps it away. And then a harness line, I put that on there also. Again, reduces fatigue for going upwind. And that allows me to let my arms go and I can save my energy for when I need to paddle up. Be under no mistake that when you're paddling with a wing on your back, it's harder to paddle up. So you either need to go for a bigger foil, your technique needs to be down, or a slightly bigger board. Okay, imagine if you will that I've now sailed upwind, I'm in the eye of the wind. So the first thing I'm going to do is flip the wing so that it's upside down. So I'm in this position as so. feet dangling in the water, and I'm ready. So the first thing I'm going to do is reach forward and take off the Velcro straps, and they get tucked away nicely into the pocket. Okay, the next thing is that I secure the paddle under my bum. That's not going anywhere. If I get knocked around, it's all good. Okay, so that's stage one done, the paddle secured. The next thing I'm going to do is commit. So at this point, I'm just double checking, yeah, bumps look okay. I definitely think that I can paddle up. So obviously deflate both of the valves. And we're now going to get rid of all of the air. Okay, the really important part now is to make sure that the valves are done back up again. If you get water inside the bladder, it's a nightmare to get out again. So make sure it's watertight before you go on to the next phase. So the next phase is folding the wing. So what we're going to do is fold it on the outside, so handles going out. Find the two corners, or tips rather, and then start the rolling process. Now it's really important that you keep this really tight. Spend your time doing this, don't rush it, because if you rush this and make it baggy, you're going to pay for it later on when you get water in there. So just take your time, get it tight, give it a shake out, get all the water out, make your way up to the middle of the wing again. At this point, you can then dump the excess air out, and then it comes back in again. Again, being really militant with that control of water not getting in there. Okay, so fold the wing in half. So the two handles on the outside, and then I just get rid of the trailing edge, the tip, just tuck it into the handle so it's out the way. Okay, now this is the point at which I take the leash off and start the wrapping process. And so all I'm trying to do is keep this nice and tight. Wrap it up. Get the harness in there as well, so there's nothing flapping around. Until it's a really compact little box. And then do it up on itself around the handle. So I grab the handle. Okay, and there we have it, a really compact wing ready to go on my back. So the fold is at the top here, so all the water can drain down and it's not going to collect in the bottom there. Okay, so next thing we do is take off the jacket. Do the 3 clips, get them undone. Wing goes on, making sure that I go through one of the handles so that it can't slip down. And then the bottom one, again, I normally go through one of the handles or one of the straps so that it can't fall down when I'm pumping. Okay, that looks really secure. On the back, zip it up, and we are good to go. All right, let's try that on the water. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of that. 3 key points to remember. First of all is take your time when you're packing it down, when you're actually doing the wrapping. You do not want to get water in there. It's really worthwhile just taking your time in that section. The other one is remember you need to board up or foil up, one of the two, because paddling up is harder. And then lastly, I would say go and explore, go and enjoy the areas you otherwise wouldn't do with car shares. That's the key to this. It's a vehicle to be able to get you to places you otherwise wouldn't be able to. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to comment and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Remember, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. It helps out our organisation, Bear Cottage. And if you're feeling really generous, then you can donate with the link that I've put in the description. All right, look forward to seeing you in the next video and on the water again soon.